welcome to Vox Singing Academy's blog here today. And today I have one of my most senior and respected teachers, Rients. How you doing, Rients?
Very well.
Welcome.
It's good to be here.
Fantastic. It's great to have you, mate. Now, we're going to be discussing the subject of preparing your voice before you go in and record in the recording studio. Now, you're an expert in this field, and that's why you're here doing this blog here today. You've had more than 20 years of recording experience in your professional career with vocals and with instruments, and you've also had your own recording studio for the last 10 years where you've recorded your own voice plus numerous other people as well too.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about, I'm going to leave it with you because you're an expert in this field here, and I've recorded some vocals with you as well too, and you guided me fantastically. Tell me what we have to do. What's the main point, the first thing that every inspiring singer has to prepare and do before they go into the recording studio to get the best out of their voice?
So yeah, I really think that preparation is the key for a good recording. If you want to get the best recording, it's all about the time you spent beforehand putting into it. Not all about the time, but also about the quality of practice that you're doing beforehand. Making sure you're singing the song to other people. Making sure you're getting you're recording it by yourself at home, just on your phone, listening back.
Do you recommend road testing songs live if you're in a band? Do you recommend going out and singing them live with the band before you go into the recording studio, or rehearsing them with the band to get a better feel of the song?
Just any preparation like that is good. Like if you can go out and play them live before you record them, then definitely that would be the best thing to do. Rehearsing them until you or your band is totally happy with them. You have to be 100% happy with them in the studio before you can be 100% happy with them in the recording studio. So
okay, at home they've got to be 100% happy.
Yeah, in the rehearsal
or
studio.
the rehearsal studio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So pre-production. We're really talking pre-production. So getting everything down that you want to do before you go into the recording studio, because we can't spend a lot of time and a lot of money in the recording studio.
Yeah.
So getting all your melodies down, also working at your harmonies as well too. That's also an important part of the recording studio is working out what you want to do for harmonies, where you want to double track, what harmonies you want to use. So this is also pre-production, what you want to be doing at home as well too.
Yeah, and for me, like I wouldn't know entirely what I wanted harmony-wise until I went and recorded it in my own home studio. Before I went to a professional studio, I would always, because I might have ideas that I think, oh gee, I can hear that and that sounds perfect, and then I might sing it and it might be too much. It might be, or I might be missing something. So it's really good to get it down in some kind of way, whether it's just a small recording or having a friend listen to it and saying, oh, that's too much, or seeing what they think. Yeah,
it's very easy now, especially with GarageBand and Pro Tools. You can on my Mac, we've got GarageBand, loop the track, put harmonies over the top of it, have a listen to it, see what you like. So play around with different harmonies, and also make sure that your melodies that you're going to sing in the main song are correct. And mainly, I think the pitch in songs this day and age is very, very important, so that you're not having to go back and use too much
auto-tune. Yeah,
auto-tune.
Yeah,
even though with some genres now, especially with the R&B, with I was listening to The Weeknd and it seems to be it's a bit of a sound, that auto-tune sound, which is great. I love the sound of that.
Yeah, hey, it's an effect. They use it as an effect, and the true artist can. I saw T-Pain sing recently, and his whole thing was the auto-tune. And I saw him sing recently, and he's got the most beautiful voice, so on the money with his pitch. So it's when you're using it for an effect, it's a great thing. I think everyone today, everyone's ears today are tuned to hearing it perfectly on pitch.
Yep.
So most recordings use an auto-tune. But I think that the trouble happens is when people go to sing live, and then they can't reproduce the quality, and obviously their career is going to go downhill even if they have this amazing release. If they can't do it live, then there's going to be a backlash. So yeah,
I was watching some YouTube clips of Post Malone and also The Weeknd as well too, and live. Both of those two artists are fantastic live. And I know that I was watching some Rihanna clips lately, and her pitch has improved greatly. I seen her very early on in her career when she played out here in Rod Laver with a big R&B sort of like a festival, and her pitch was a little bit to be desired, but it looks like it's improved greatly with some of the live footage that I've seen lately. So I think pitch is a very important thing. You can always go into a recording studio, and with all of the technology we have these days, anyone can sound good, but to go out and pull it off live, it separates the amateurs from the professionals. Yeah,
and we want to do as least as possible when we're doing the editing of anything. We want to get the most natural sound possible. So the more preparation when it comes to like pitch and your tone before you go in. Essentially, the more auto tune on. If you want your sound to sound natural, we don't want to be putting a lot of it on. So otherwise you'll get that effect without wanting it. Yeah. So it's really important, pitch. In a lot of ways.
So preparation, practicing. I know that I do a lot of pre-production with a lot of my guys that have got record contracts. I've got lots of guys that have got record contracts. We always do pre-production on at least the singles, but generally the first 5 or 6 songs of every album, the most important songs, they're always bringing them into classes. They're doing pre-prog on them. This is months and months before they're going to go in and record them. So this is 3-4 months. So when the recording session's booked in, we're already working on 3 or 4 months. So they're totally prepared. All of my students that have got contracts before they go in and record them. It's a really important thing. And we also do go over harmonies and throw around different harmonies. That's part of what the lead singer's job is to do now. And the vocal sounds that are being produced now in the recording studio, as you know, they're these big full vocal sounds, double tracked harmonies on most nearly everything these days. So that's something else as well too that vocalists out there have to be prepared for as well too, is that you're not just going in this day and age, you're going in just laying one lead vocal track. No. You're going to be there for a while, double tracking harmonies as well too, so doing all of these things as well too. So this also goes to do with, you recommend practicing these at home as well too, Rients?
Definitely. So recording that your lead part and then practicing over the top of your lead part with your harmony that you'll be recording. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then practicing recording your harmony, just the harmony, and then practicing the lead, so you don't get freaked out if you have to go back and do a track with the harmony on. Usually we can just turn that off in the studio though. So, but yeah, it's all. You want to be prepared for everything. If the producer says do this, or then you want to know it back to front, inside out.
Yeah. Talking about producers, I've worked with a few, and they always should, I think, be very, very interested in the genre of music that you're doing, and they'd be nearly like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th or 5th member of the band.
Yeah.
I know Forrester Seville with Dead Letter Circus, they call Forrester the 5th or the 6th member now. That they're a 4 or 5 piece now, so they always think that he's a valued member of the band in the studio, because he really loves their what they're producing and what they're writing. So he's very, very interested. So I think the producer has to have a passion for that. Going on to another subject here, Rients, just very quickly, bouncing from one thing to the next. Someone that hasn't been in the recording studio, they're going to have cans on, which is basically headphones. Now I know that I'm not a big fan of singing with the cans on, so can you give us a little bit of a rundown in the recording studio about singing with cans on, or singing with cans off? I like to record live in the studio.
Yeah.
Now, so can you give us a little bit of a rundown regarding that as well too?
So with the headphones, I really think it's about
just for people that haven't been in the recording studio, what's going to come through the headphones when they're recording Rients?
So the mix of, the track, what's been recorded before, the music of all the other instruments, and then you should be able to hear yourself
very clearly.
Very clearly, yeah. But you don't want to be too loud, but you also don't want to be too quiet, because if you're too loud in the headphones, then you'll be singing like very quietly.
Yep.
But if you're too quiet in the headphones, you'll be missing the pitch, and you won't hear the proper tone that you won't hear the sound that you're putting into the microphone.
Yep.
So it's very important to be, first of all, singing at the level that's best for the song, so that the engineer, volume level, so that the engineer can adjust. And if it's too loud in your headphones, even though you're singing at your level, you have to ask the engineer to turn it down in your headphones, so that you can, or just find the right level. Yeah.
So basically, getting a good mix in your headphones.
Very important. It's hugely important to the overall finished product. Yeah.
I also like to have a little bit more piano and guitar in the headphones, so that I can reference the pitch off that as well too.
Yeah.
Not so much drums. Yes, drums is very important for the timing. Extremely important, but I like to just have a little bit more with the chords, so I know where I am being the singer. Timing is very important as well too.
Definitely. Timing, yes. It's all important. You have to hear every aspect. Well, I think so. If there's anything, I think it's just being truthful and saying, and not being afraid to say, I need more of this, or that's too much, or
yes,
yeah, just and you don't have to be mean about it. You just say, I just need a little bit of this, if that's okay, and then if the person who's recording you is good at what they do, they'll be used to
understanding.
Yeah, they'll be understanding, and
because they want to get the best. We all want to get the best possible product out there, because it's a reflection of the producer and the studio as well too, to get the best possible product that they possibly can out there.
Yeah, definitely, and that's going back to producers, the best type of producer is a producer that can it can turn off from what they love, so and sort of almost embody themselves in the band and put themselves in the band, and think, what do these guys want?
Yep.
What are they like? And I think that's the main thing. Like, and sort of, you might like something better as a producer, but and you might think that's better, but if it might not fit the artistic groove. So the ideas of the band. So but of course, if you think something's better, you have to speak up and say, what about this? But it's all about people skills and like, when it comes to finding a middle ground a lot of the time, and I think that's the best producer, the one that sort of molds themselves and their likes to what the band's doing as well.
And also sometimes to push the artist a little bit as well too, and also not so much pushing, yes, but also the skill of getting the best out of the best take and the best, and motivation, and so let's try this, or let's sing this a little bit more energy, or let's use your mouth a little bit more.
That's why being a singing teacher really helps. Really helps, because you know exactly why it didn't sound wrong.
Yep.
Didn't sound right. Why it didn't sound right.
Yep.
A lot of, like, for example, Rick Rubin. We're talking about him. I think he's a great producer. He's one of my favorite producers. I think he just hears it if there's something he doesn't like. Yeah, if there's something he doesn't like, he says, that's not right, and it's just a feeling thing. Where as a teacher, you can feel that the thing that's not right, and you can say, "This is how to fix it. Let's just open up a little bit more, smile a little bit more on that note, or you need more volume in that section. You need to step back from the mic and then give it to it a little bit more." So
Just on the subject that you're talking about, feel, I think this is a very important subject we just need to briefly go on as well too in the recording studio, because preparation. So preparing at home in the rehearsal studio at home, getting it all down. But when we get into the studio, sometimes it's a little bit of a different feel. I know that I was just reading the Aerosmith autobiography, and Steve Tyler unscrewed. They had a red light in the recording studio for the first 2 albums. He unscrewed the red light because the red light just made him nervous. So a big thing is try to, when you prepare, but when you get to the recording studio, we want to have that same feel. We want to sing the song with feel, so that it comes across that we believe it. I know that a song by a band called Stone Sour called Looking Through the Glass, it was off their first album, and it was the first time that I think Corey Taylor from Slipknot was singing clean. And it sounded, that particular album and that song, you can see that he was singing clean for the first time, and it sounded very, and I'm looking through the glass, very precise, nearly to the point of sterile. He's going to absolutely kill me if I see him, if he sees me. But I just felt that it didn't have a lot of feel to it, and I think you've got to sometimes just have feel to the song. And I'm just going to keep on going, and then I'm going to let you go. But I know that two of my favourite artists, Bono from U2 and Brian Johnson from AC/DC, both record live in the recording studio. Bono actually sits down and just sits there and with or holds the mic, or has them I think he records with a Shaw, just a live mic, and basically it's like U2 karaoke that he just sings into it live through the speakers.
Wow.
And he gets the feel that he wants to out of that way. I prefer to record that way as well too, because when I've got all this in my head, it feels like, whoa! So I like to have more of that live feel like that. What do you feel about that? One, singing with feel in a recording studio, because sometimes the student or the recording artist can feel overwhelmed getting to the recording studio for the first time. They stiffen up. And then also recording without the cans on, and nearly recording live.
Okay, so yeah, regarding feel, I mean, the way that I prepare, like for example, the way I prepare for a gig is that I set up a microphone. The other day I was playing a gig, I was playing guitar and singing, so I set up with a microphone, set up my guitar just like I would at a gig. You know, you have to practice how you're going to play.
Yep.
So I actually turned all the lights off. On your gigs we have bright lights, and I practice in the dark with some like flashing lights going on, so that I don't freak out when I get there. So the same sort of thing. If you're going to prepare for a recording, you might want to just envisage yourself in the room with the mic in front of you, with headphones on.
Yep.
If there's any way of reproducing that, at home, yeah.
Yep.
And
just on that point, Rients, so just about performing live, just a little side tip here. I know that one of my bands were supporting a very large band for the first time, and they said, "Oh, what should I do to get prepared to perform in front of a large crowd for the first time?"
Yeah.
And I actually said, "Get some other external speakers. Have a lot of crowd noise, like reproducing crowd noise, very, very loud." So they actually had crowd noise through their rehearsal PA speakers while they were also rehearsing as well, just so that they were getting used to this loud noise and being in front of a big crowd.
But simulation,
simulation.
They do it in the army, that to get ready for combat, you go and you do a simulation. So
and that tip greatly helped them out, so they were used to that. A louder crowd noise than what they have ever been used to playing in a pub.
Yeah. Cool. That's good.
So preparation and feel as well too. Yep. Now recording, have you done much recording live without the headphones on?
As little as possible, just because I like to have a single sound to deal with when I'm mixing, or when I'm EQing, or if you have the track through the speakers, obviously a little bit of that bleeds into the microphone.
Yep. And
so then you have to deal with that in post production, or when you're putting effects on, and so I like to have as much as possible but it is all about if someone's going to perform better and they want to do it with a live mic, the SM58 or and through the speakers, if they're going to sing better like that, then if they know they're going to do it, then there's no rules. You just try whatever works. So and that might come up with a great effect because of that. It might sound a bit more retro. It might sound a bit more a bit more lo-fi, which might suit the sound. So
just on that subject there about sound, I know that some of my screamers use that when they're in a recording studio, so they can cut the mic, and also a couple of the hip hop guys as well too like to do that as well too, to get a bit more of a muffled type of sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it uses as an effect. I'd like to just ask one more question. Have you ever personally had yourself, when you've been recording in the recording studio, or someone else that you may have been recording, where it's really gone haywire, where you've just lost it, you've lost pitch, you've lost confidence? What is there a tip for that if that happens? Has that happened, and have you dealt with it firstly?
Definitely, anything that's worth doing is going to be hard. So when you first start doing it, and you really want to jump in as soon as possible, you want to go and record yourself as soon as possible. So if you're doing the right thing, you should be probably going in there before you're ready to go. You might think you're ready, but we want to get you in there as soon as possible, so you get to know the surroundings, what you're going to have to deal with next time. So you do prepare as much as you can. But anyway, when things go wrong, you might need to take a little break. You might need to have a pep talk to yourself. You might need to go and punch a punching bag.
Jumping jacks.
Just
meditation, whatever.
Meditation. Definitely, you might need to turn that light off. You might need to,
like Steve Tyler, yes.
Yeah, you might need to have someone tell a joke or something. I don't know. There's a million things that might. You just need to push the reset button, really. I mean, there's been times where I have, I can remember one particular time at Complex Studios, and I was recording drums, and I was just dropping beats here and there, and I got really upset, and I was really getting upset, and so I just stepped away, went outside, swore a bit,
reset,
sort of calmed down. And I was very young at the time, and sort of calmed down, and then got back in there, and it was awesome. And we recorded 5 tracks that day, and on the drums, and it was really good. So it's the same sort of thing with any art, really. Things go wrong. How you deal with how things go wrong is what makes you a successful person, I think. Whether you go, I can't do this, and quit, or whether you, we say at Vox, we're not allowed to say can't in classes, because we're just
can't, never, hate, and I've thrown in a new one, sorry. I don't want students saying, if they make a mistake, sorry, they're not allowed to say sorry anymore. No. Banned it now.
I mean, it's just we don't need that. We're not in a formal relationship so much as we're not meeting people for the first time. We're getting stuff done, and it's expected that we're in the place where we need to mess up when we're in classes, where we need to make our mistakes there so that we can get better.
At home as well too.
At home, as well. But when we're in classes as well, like if you don't make a mistake, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah. They've got a saying as well too. Resetting if you've got a bit flustered in the recording studio. But there's always a saying in the recording studio. We'll fix it in the mix. As well too. Mm-hmm. So we can always do different things like that. I think a good producer will also say, hey, look, let's work on another song, or let's work on the bridge. Let's just change it up. Let's go to the bridge instead of the chorus if you're having some troubles with the chorus. On that subject as well too, I think having a great singing teacher is very important in pre-production to make sure that they're singing all of these parts properly. I do a lot of pre-prog with my guys. It's a big thing that we do. And the main point that I'm always getting and wanting to work on is, number one is pitch. Number 2 is feel. They're the two things that I'm always they're the two things that I'm concerned about. They're the two things. Then there are the minor things like the volumes and the mouth placement, but I'm always really hammering number 1, pitch, and then 2, just stand there delivering the whole song all the way through with feel. Rients, do you like to record a song all the way through? Do you like to let the artist go and sing all the way through? Or do you like to just say, we're going to knock out the first verse and get the first verse down?
Actually, the way I do it is we start, and if everything's cruising along on the first 10 seconds of the take, then we just go through to the end.
Yep.
Then I just like to go and do maybe a couple takes.
Fix up the little bits and pieces.
Well, yeah, afterwards. So I like to get the best take out of. Say I do 3 takes, 3 runs through the song, and then I'll just choose the best one. We'll go, all right, that felt the best. The second one felt the best, and then I'll look at that and I'll think, all right, where are the bits that need the work, and then I'll see if those bits are in the other takes. And if they're not in the other takes, then we're going to go through and we're going to go and break those bits down.
Yep.
And go and work out what's not working.
Yep.
And usually it's the same. You'll take 3 takes and it's the same bit that needs the work each time. So it's like, yeah. So, but sometimes there are bits where like, oh, you did it well that time and not so well that other time. So,
yeah. But
that was a great take. So it felt the best. So we'll use that, but. We'll fix up the bits, so yeah.
Yeah.
But the less bits you have to fix up in the studio, the better it's going to be. We can spend time making the really good bits awesome.
Yeah. So you're recommending singing as much of it as you can all the way through.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Because a lot of it is about feel, and if you're constantly starting,
yep.
you lose. Where was I dynamic-wise? How loud was it before? This bit's supposed to be louder, but now I'm seeing it quieter because I've lost context.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think and people just get lost. And I'd rather more so let people go if they're not doing too well in a take.
Yep.
And let them, get it out of the system rather than stop them and then make them feel all flustered and
Yes.
And so be sort of gentle with their feelings and sort of and say, all right, let's do another one.
Yep.
I don't have to say whether it's good or bad or
Yeah. But you want to suggest where? Look, can we try to get on top of this note here?
Yep.
In the second line.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep, okay, great, let's do it again. That bit, let's go and do that bit. This bit we're going to do it with really use our tummy and really make it clean, So yeah.
Fantastic. So Rients, just to wrap things up, obviously being a singing teacher has greatly improved you as a producer and recording studio, and vice versa.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's all related, like they say, you might learn to play guitar and it makes you a better drummer. You certainly, if you play drums, you makes you a better bass player. So it's all related. It's all, and certainly when it comes to pitching, and every instrument helps every other instrument. So listening to a lot of music. Some of the best producers don't play any instruments. So Rick Rubin. Yeah. I'm not sure how much. One of my favorite producers is Dr. Dre. I'm not sure how much.
Yeah.
Many instruments he actually plays. He actually even gets people to write some of his lyrics, I think. So he's a producer that sometimes raps.
Yep.
But that the whole listening to music and tuning your taste in music, I think, is a real big thing. So listening to as many different styles of music as possible, listening to as many different bands and artists as you can to work out what's really good. If just to say I don't like that style of music, I don't like country music, so I'm just gonna not listen to it. But then there's bands out there you probably are gonna like that are country music, but you just haven't heard them yet.
You've got to thoroughly enjoy the genre of music that you're singing.
That's correct.
And
yep.
that's a big point.
Yep.
Okay, Rients, out there as well too, I think that there are only 2 forms of music out there. good and bad.
Yeah.
There are great, there's great hip hop, there's great rock, there's great R&B, but there's also bad versions of that as well too. And you got to discover the good artists.
Yeah, and
the great artists.
The thing is, like, what someone does and you'll think is bad, someone else is going to love that. So you know, it's very hard to even say there's good and bad. It's like, you know, but there's certainly not like, yeah.
I think a great melody always shines through.
It does, yeah, it does.
It doesn't matter whether it's hip hop or whether it's pop or whether it's hardcore. It doesn't matter. You've got to have a great melody, and that's the secret to success.
You know, melody is king, and that's always something my friends and I have said. That you know, that yeah, it's really the main thing that in the sound is it's got to be a good song. It's got to, you know, make you feel something and move you, yeah. And the melodies, you know, it's the lead part generally. I mean, I'm a drums man. Like I'm drum and bass. I love the rhythm. I love the vibe. But when it comes down to it, if it doesn't have that hook or that, you know, then it's maybe it's not going to be poppy enough to be
as successful.
Yeah, it's successful, you know. And I mean, we all do it for different reasons. So,
exactly.
So that's cool about it. Personally, I love hooks. I love, you know, I don't mind what style it is. I just want to hear that melody that makes my heart sing.
Yeah. Fantastic, Rients. It's been very enlightening for everyone that would have been listening there, especially more so for the beginner going to the recording studio for the first or second time to prepare. This is what really this segment's been about. I think we've covered all of those points there. So
if there's anything that we've said that didn't really make sense, you can always get in touch with us. But leave a comment.
Post your comments down below in the comments box down below. Yeah,
so I'd be totally happy to answer any questions, or you know, if I've said something wrong, please tell me and I'll learn.
We'll delete it.
But I mean, everyone's learning all the time. So
we're always very open-minded to everything.
Yeah.
Everything, every comment and every form of music. So we're always open and always wanting to grow here at Vox and be the best that we possibly can.
Yeah, forever.
Rients, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for coming down.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time on Vox Singing Academy's blogs. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Vox Singing Academy!
Thank you for watching. If you've found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. If you want to learn more about your voice, please post your questions in the comments below. If we pick out one of your questions to do a video segment for, you will win a free lesson with myself or one of my fantastic singing teachers. So until next time, aim high, chase your dreams, believe in yourself, and have fun singing.